What is up, YouTube? Today I am back with another quick install video on the 2019 Indian Scout Bobber. Today we are going to be installing the Eagle Lights LED headlight. All right, so we have Eagle Lights part number 8900 Bravo Hotel. So this is the black housing LED headlight with the halo ring. So quick unboxing, and here we have it here. So it still has the plastic film on it. You can see, looking nice and fresh. So it's all LED, all black housing with the LED halo ring, which I really like the look of. So the install should be pretty straightforward. There's a few things we're gonna have to take off. It has all the necessary harness that we're going to need. It is a direct replacement, which is a 5 3/4 inch. So this is a direct plug and play replacement. My buddy did get this for me as a gift. Shout out to my good friend Sonny, thank you. So I did contemplate getting a couple cheaper ones that were on Amazon, but I figured that this was a nice option. It's about half the price of the Pathfinder one from Indian, but in all honesty, I got this one because I prefer the look of it over the Indian one. It really didn't have anything to do with the price. I don't like how the Indian one kind of has like a half halo, where this one is a full circular halo ring, as you can see. So I just genuinely like the look of this one. So we're going to go over how the stock one comes out, how it looks, and then we're gonna throw this one in and see if it looks a lot better. So let's get to it. All right, so here we have the bike. So as you can see, this is the stock headlight with the stock bulb. So it's pretty big. It kind of reminds me of an old school car, the old glass lights that they used to have. If you actually look here, here's my 68. So to me, it reminds me of my 68 headlights. So although I love my 68, it's not really the look that I want for my bike. So a few of my friends also have actually made comments about the light, saying that it just sticks out too much, not in a good way. So I'm super excited to put this new light on. And I did contemplate putting just an LED bulb and keeping the factory housing, but I figured I might as well just get the nice aftermarket one with the black housing, the halo ring, go all LED, and just call it a day. So I'm gonna turn it on. We're gonna flick off the garage lights just so we can see the light output here. It gives off more of a yellow color, obviously, than the bright white we're gonna get from the LED. So we'll check what the output looks like against the wall, and then we'll swap the new one in and compare it. So let's get to it. All right, guys, so first things first. First step is we need to take off the 3 bolts on each side of the headlight bezel, which are right here, and another one right there. So they're all on with a 6mm hex head or Allen key. You can use an Allen key, but to make it quicker, I picked these up. So they're hex head sockets from the local Harbor Freight, just to make it quicker. They're a 6mm, so let's get all those off and we'll be able to pull off this headlight housing right here. All right, so once you have all 6 of those bolts out and the 2 brackets off on each fork, you can just take this whole assembly off like so. Carefully place this off to the side. And now you have access to your rubber gasket here, the headlight, and your whole wiring pouch right here. So next up, you'll see right here, there's one Phillips head screw here, and then one in the same spot on the other side. You're gonna take those 2 out, and that's gonna give you access to pull the actual headlight out from the assembly here. Now this bolt right here, if you can make it out, that's actually for adjusting it for high and low, to adjust the height of the beam. So we're gonna leave that one for now. Hopefully it'll be good once we put the new one in, so we're not gonna mess with that. We're just gonna take these 2 Phillips head out, and we're gonna take out the headlight. All right, so once we have those 2 retaining screws out, we're gonna pull the headlight out. Also, I always recommend keep yourself one of these magnetic trays, put all your bolts and screws in. This way you do not lose any of them and start cursing yourself up and down looking for them later when you're trying to put it back together. So now, slide this right out, just like so. There's gonna be your one connector back here. Give it a wiggle, and she pops right out. Now, if you can make it out right here, this is the wiring for the little 194 bulb down there. So we're gonna trace this all the way back up through to the wiring pouch right here. So we're gonna open up this pouch. You're gonna see here, when you manipulate it, it comes back to these two blade clips right here. So what we're gonna do is, you're gonna unplug these. One, make sure you hold on to the light so it does not drop. Two, now we can slide this whole light assembly right out, and then we'll be able to close up this pouch right here. Now we're gonna clean all of this assembly up. We're gonna clean the housing here, and we're gonna get to installing the new one. Also, another quick tip, with the two blade connectors that you disconnected here, I highly recommend just running some electrical tape over it, just so that there's no issue with any type of connections or shorts. So I would just grab a little bit of electrical tape, just wrap them up so that they're nice and covered up, and then we can close up this pouch. All right, so now before we put the new light in, just make sure you get some quick detail, wipe all this out, get all the grime out, clean out the gasket, and then we can get the new one installed. Okay, now that we have the headlight out, just bring it over to your workbench or table. Make sure you use a towel so you don't scratch anything. You can see here, the bezel here is super filthy. So to always work with clean stuff, we're gonna clean this off first. Just use some quick detail spray. Get that ring nice and clean. Just a little easier to work with when the headlight's still in it, so you have some more surface area to grab. See, sometimes you have a little caked on bugs. Surprised by how dirty it was, especially for the mileage that it has. Okay, so once you have that nice and clean, you're gonna work your way to the back side of it here. You're gonna see there is 4 of these clips here. Yes, they are a pain in the ass. Basically, you are going to take a flathead, work it here, pull out the one side, and then you can take all 4 clips out. Then you are going to get your new headlight, grab your retaining ring here, and transfer it over onto the new headlight. So let's get these clips out. Okay, so once you have all 4 clips out, you can just lift up here, give this an angle, and the headlight will come right out of the bezel here, and you can set that aside. Now, if you can make it out here, the bike is 2 years old. Right here, actually some of the paint has come off, and it's slightly rusted here on the inside already. Obviously this is metal, it's not plastic. So me being so anal, I'm going to sand this down a little bit, and I'm gonna put some black paint that I have on it just to prevent it from rusting any further, so I don't have to come back to this in a couple years and replace it. So gonna take a quick detour over there, gonna sand this down, put a little paint on it, and we'll be right back. All right, so we're back here. So basically, let's see if we can find it. Here's one of them here. I found a couple more of them. Let's see, here was another one. So I just cleaned it. I sanded it down with 1000 grit sandpaper, got some Rust-Oleum, and painted it on. You can see now it's all nice and black and clear. Touched up a couple other little rust spots that look like were forming, sanded them all down, and painted it up. So now that this is dry, we're going to install the new Eagle headlight. Okay, so once you're ready to install your headlight, one thing just to keep in mind, that this little notch here is the dead center on the bottom. So when you're aligning this back on the bike and putting the headlight in, make sure that this is right in the middle at 6 o'clock. So now, here is the headlight. Still has the film on until I'm done installing, so I prevent any scratches or damage. Now you can see through it though. Right here it says DOT. That is the top, so that's gonna be 12 o'clock. So it is going to mount just like this into the ring. So you're gonna have 6 o'clock here, which is the bottom, and the DOT up here at 12 o'clock. So now let's get these 4 clips put in, and then we can throw this bad boy on the bike. All right, so we got all the clips in. So now, we'll see here. We're gonna take this off. Looking good. Oh, got a little stuck. Okay. So, now you wanna make sure that this notch is dead center with where we're gonna be putting the light. So, I'd say that's pretty good right in the center. So now, okay, so just one other step before you do install this on. Although this is a direct replacement for the Indian bobber, I believe this headlight will fit other applications, whether it's a Harley or anything else that uses a 5 3/4 inch round headlight. So this is the way Eagle sends it to you with this added pigtail harness here. So you're gonna unplug this here, then you're gonna have to cut the shrink wrap and disconnect the blade connector, and then also wrap that up with electrical tape as well. If you do plug it in with this end, the light will not power up, so it's not gonna work. So we're gonna cut this off, tape that up, and then we're gonna get this installed on the bike. All right, now we have the headlight in the bezel, we have the pigtail disconnected, so now let's get this all installed. So just be careful when you're plugging it in. Just gonna line this up, plug that in. You're gonna feed that harness back through so you can seat the headlight. And then you're gonna line up your 2 retaining screws, and your headlight will be secured. It pops right in there. So now let's get the 2 screws in, and we'll put the bezel back on. All right, so now we have the headlight seated in with the 2 retaining screws. We have the gasket, it's all plugged in. Just one thing is when you are putting the 2 retaining screws in, make sure you put some pressure here on the light, pushing it in towards the bike. These 2 screws are easy to strip. They're cheap aluminum threads, so make sure you're not stressing them out too much. Put some pressure in on here. Put one in first, don't throw it in all the way, then do the other side. Make sure you keep some pressure, tighten them, and then put them in together evenly. So that's all on now. Here's the moment of truth. We'll shove the key in and make sure the light works before we put the bezel back on. Bam. All right, low beam, high beam. All right, cool. Let's get the bezel up, and then we'll see how it looks once it's all back together. All right, so we're all done. The headlight is in. Make sure when you're tightening those 6 hex head bolts for the headlight shroud that you don't tighten them too much, because again, that is aluminum, so you don't want to strip that out, and that piece is expensive. Now you got yourself a whole bunch of problems. So just hand snug is gonna be good. So this is the finished product. I think it looks absolutely sick. Let's get this out of the way. I really think it complements the look of the bike, especially now that I have it with the black seat, remove the front fork reflectors, some of the back reflectors. So really going for that all black murdered out theme. Just got to figure something out with those front turn signal indicators there. But I really, really like it. So let's throw it on. We'll see how it looks in the daytime. Then we'll come back in the garage later tonight. Once it's pitch black, we'll put it on, the low beam, the high beam, and we'll compare it to the stock bulb output. All right, so here's what the light looks like on. You can see here, here's the factory light output, and there is the high beam. So, I mean, it does its job. Obviously not nothing special, just an average headlight. So let's flick off lights completely. And now you can see the garage will be totally dark. So this is all the light output that it would give. This is the low beam, and there's the high beam. So let's get this one pulled out, throw that new one in, and let's see how she looks. All right, so it's nighttime. We got this light in. Let's start her up. There you have it, nice and bright white. No more of that yellow look. We got it level, so you can see this is the low beam. There's a high beam. Not a huge difference in the low to high. I think it's more of just a formality way to have it so you can alert somebody or flick somebody. I don't think it's gonna give off that much more light put, as you can tell, but it is a little something. All right, so there you have it. The install is all done. This is the finished product. Be sure to like and subscribe if you have not already. Drop any comments you have below and let me know what you guys think. Take it easy.